But anyway, thank you for inviting me to be here, and I will do my best to give you some information that I think will be useful for you as you plan out your future as a project manager. I did put a note in the chat box saying that I really can't predict the future. I don't know too many people that can, but there are things that we can use to help us to get ready for what's going on next and establish a plan for our own personal future growth. So I'm starting off with a slide that says power exchange, and events like this, where you have an opportunity to listen to people and entertain questions and ask questions and so on, that is a power exchange, okay? And I like this definition. A power exchange is the intentional, continuous transfer of information that boosts team member accountability and performance. So one of the things that you need to do as a project manager is focus on that exchange of information, useful information that actually creates value for not only your team, but for your organization and also for your customer. Now, there are power converters, and by the way, project managers, especially today, there's kind of a shift in what project managers do. And we are now looking at project managers as more like project leaders, and I think you're going to see a lot more literature on that because you have to do, it's a combination of things. You have to manage the project. You also have to lead people and get things done for your stakeholders. So one of these power converters, or a few of these power converters, would be to make sure that you are explaining the game, what's going on, what's happening, what the vision is, what your objectives are. Make sure that the questions that you ask are pertinent, and also encourage your team to ask questions, especially open-ended questions. You want to stay away from the yes and no questions. Okay, that slide there, apparently slightly blocking the words, appreciate performance and people, acknowledge generously. Okay, what you want to do is you want to say thank you. And thank you is a very easy thing to say, but make it a sincere thank you. And I think that if you have that, what you will do is you will establish a fairly solid base of people who are interested in working through the project and working with you. Okay, so it's not working for you, but working with you to solve the problems and achieve the objectives of the project. One of my favorite quotes that I think all project managers should have on their desk is chance favors the prepared mind. And this is a quote from Louis Pasteur. And if you think about it, all the projects that you work on, luck has very little to do with it. It's about planning. It's about being ready. It's about dealing with risk and so on. So keep yourselves ready. Look for the unexpected that's out there, and look for those opportunities. And that's what chance favors the prepared mind is telling us. There are lots of opportunities, not only for the project. If we handle risk properly, we should not look at risk only as threats, but there are opportunities out there. And also there's great opportunity for project managers in a very, very challenging but changing world, especially in the area of technology. And the last point, make the most of each day. At the end of the day, when you leave your job and you go home, you really need to think about, what did I accomplish today? What value did I create? Who benefited from my actions? How did I move the organization forward? Those are the kinds of things that are important, because if you do that, you're not only improving your company, you're also improving your own personal brand, and you're also assisting the customer in meeting their expectations and what they need to have done. Now, these slides here, this next slide here, I thought I'd share this. I actually attended a keynote presentation of Magic Johnson. He was the keynote presentation at a PMI conference down in, I think it was in New Orleans. And he was an amazing speaker. He spoke mostly about leadership, and I had to really pay quite a bit of attention to him. But he gave us some very interesting tips that I thought I'd share with you. First of all, he said over-deliver. That's something that a lot of people will probably tell you not to do, but there are ways to over-deliver in customer satisfaction without costing you and your company money. But be there first, he said. If you're the leader, you need to show up at meetings first. You need to be there to assist people, especially when problems develop, and show that you're very committed to the project itself. The next one is attitude. Okay, how many people go into a project with an attitude to, come in second place? It's really about doing the best you can, working with your team, and showing the attitude that you are here to win. Okay. Number 3, go to the next level. Go for the championship. Always stretch yourself. Whatever you're doing today, once you've got that in control, you should move on to the next level and continuously challenge yourself to greater and greater things. There's a lot of rewards there in terms of your brand and your ability to learn and how you're recognized within your organization and also with customers. Okay? Play against someone better than you. That was a pretty good tip, I thought. In order to improve your skills, try to work with someone who really knows more than you and kind of use them as a mentor and hone your skills. Okay? Do a personal SWOT. Most of you, I think, are familiar with that. A SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We actually reserve those in many cases for the project itself or when we're doing a strategic exercise for the company. But what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What opportunities are waiting out there for you, and what threats can hold you back? Once you do that, you're better prepared to move to the next level. Okay, network as much as you can, communicate, talk to people, surround yourself with people that know lots and lots of information. Make sure that you spend the time to understand your customer. Customers are very, very difficult sometimes to obtain requirements from. We need to really understand their needs in their terms. One of the things that I've heard multiple times is if you give the customer what they want, they'll probably be unhappy with you. So focus on the needs of the customer and work with the customer so that you can take those implied needs into stated needs that you can then deliver. Let's not allow our egos to get in the way. Sometimes they can create conflict. Whatever you're doing with yourself, don't be satisfied. Take your brand to the next level. Your personal brand is about value, what you do for your company each day, what you do for yourself. And you want people to recognize you for the value that you create. Okay? Give back whenever possible. I'm a member of PMI for 20-something years. I've held leadership positions at PMI. And it actually is a good feeling to provide something back to the community. And this webinar is just one of those examples. Okay? And then we have be demanding but fair. In other words, we don't need clock watches on our team. What we need are people who are dedicated to get things done. And we need to know your team. Make sure that you know the capabilities of your team and not to push them too far, but get them to understand where you're going and work with them. And I think that these are some pretty amazing tips for leadership. Okay, so here's a quote that I found that I thought was kind of interesting, and it's something that we all need to consider. The most dangerous person in the corporate environment is the highly enthusiastic incompetent. He's running faster in the wrong direction, doing horribly counterproductive things with winning enthusiasm. What we have to do is make sure that your people are focused on the right things. You're setting expectations, that you're working with people to make sure that they understand the standards and the guidelines and the objectives of the projects that you work on. Okay, if you have people going in the wrong direction, it can have a very serious impact not only on your project, but also on the brand of your company. Now, this is a quote that I put together. It was actually based on something that was said by another leader, and I kind of turned it around a little bit. Came from Microsoft. And what I did was I changed it to the dream as conceived by PMI 47 years ago has not been achieved until project management becomes accepted as a strategic necessity and perceived as the ultimate method to promote collaboration, improve productivity, and increase efficiency. The work is not done, and there is nothing more fun than doing that work. Now, I'm going to make an assumption here that you as a project manager are there for a reason, that you actually enjoy the work that you do, okay, and that you find ways to have people enjoy the work with them, and collaborate, and find some time in there for a little bit of fun, too. And I think that's very important. Now, what was mentioned earlier during the introduction was International Project Management Day. And the theme behind that has always been project management, the power of the profession. And as you can see, the challenges of today's economic environment, the fast-paced changes in technology, and the need for organizations to embrace the initiatives that support sustainability, which is a key factor these days, have driven many leaders to focus their attention on the benefits of a well-organized and executed project management methodology.